the vigil in Lancaster on the town hall steps. And it was the vigil for George Floyd's murder in 2020 in June. My own city, Lancaster, had a vigil and several hundreds of people attended. And this was the catalyst for how we formed Lancaster Black History Group. We wanted to use education to eradicate racism, and people were listening because this was a movement, not a moment. All eyes were on how we addressed our history in terms of racism. So I then started to dig deep even, and then I found out Lancaster even has its own role in how racism was prevalent in the slave trade. So this is how I used the hook into how we could address this and how we then change the narrative. Because I think sometimes what we teach needs to have some purpose. So using our own history was our hook into schools. And yes, you know, the facts are there. Unfortunately, racism is still prevalent. You know, the data says that there's 95% of young children in Britain who are Black who have said that they've either experienced or witnessed racism themselves. And as tutors, educators, we have a duty of care, and it's things like also looking in-house. So unconscious bias, a word again, which is thrown around recently. It's those stereotypes. You know, I remember even going to university and one of the lectures being about how Black boys are less likely to do well. And I was wondering, why is this the case? You know, rather than let's group and stereotype all Black boys, let's look at the roots of the problem, because there must be something that is affecting them. And also having 3 boys myself of mixed heritage, you know, this is something I want to make sure they don't become labeled with, and they're not given the same opportunities. And we can do this. You know, I think in the classroom, small changes make big impacts.